Before starting Arbor Brothers, Scott and I were teachers in New York City, and it became clear after a number of years in the classroom that the connection between race and poverty in our community was all too apparent and all too important to ignore. Arbor Brothers is a grant-making organization that exists to address root causes of poverty in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area. Since Arbor Brothers' founding, we've always focused on trying to find organizations that had great DEI practices, were led by people of color, led by members of the community in which they were serving.
I think those who are closest to the problem best know the solutions. One way in which you could argue that those voices should be elevated is by having intentional diversity, equity, inclusion practices. The only way we get to actually hear from community leaders and those closest to the problem is by raising those voices up.
The argument for engaging in this work is pretty sound. There's research, and I'd be happy to share it with anybody, that makes it clear that diversity in the workplace, diversity in general, leads to better outcomes and more fulfilling experiences for everybody.
I think everyone comes to the world of philanthropy and funding with the best of intentions and kind hearts. I think it's really hard for folks trying to make these decisions when you yourself have never experienced that problem.
Once the conversations start to happen and once people can recognize institutional racism and their own role in implicit bias, I think the distance is not that far from the self-acknowledgement to a change in practice.